In recent news, Mizkif breaks silence on what happened between them when a fight broke out back in September 2023. Here's Mizkif exposing Mitch Jones and why the fight broke out in the first place.
Literally, I'm not kidding you. The reason why Mitch Jones and I got into a fight 3 years ago at my house is because he was on cocaine. Because Mitch Jones, and I swear to God, he came to my house. I was like, yo, let's just mend the beef and you can join OnlyFans. Okay. And I said, yo, come to my house and we can mend the drama. He comes to my house. Biggest mistake I ever made, one of them. And he is like, yeah, man, like, let's mend the beef. I'm like, okay, let's chill. Let's mend the beef. Let's talk. So we're just sitting there talking, having conversation. And he's kind of like digging at me a little bit. He's like, yeah, man, he kind of fucked me over a lot. And I'm like, I fucked you over? You went to Trainwrecks and said I covered up sexual assault. What do you mean I fucked you over? So then he starts having a couple shots. He starts drinking. And the more he starts drinking, because he asked for a bottle of whiskey in my house, the more he starts drinking, the more he starts just relentlessly shitting on me and claiming that I'm the reason why his life is ruined and I f***ed everything over for him and that his life would be so much better without me. And I'm like, what are you on about? So then someone rings my doorbell and I'm like, who the f*** is that? I go in with Mitch to see who it is. It's some girl, and she has cocaine for Mitch. So Mitch then takes the cocaine and says, I just had her meet me here. I said, Mitch, get the f*** out of my house. I started screaming at him. I said, why the f*** are you bringing cocaine to my house? He then goes on my table and does a line of coke. Then he starts screaming at me, telling me that I'm a huge problem and I did such terrible things to him to ruin his life. So I start telling Mitch, get the hell out of my house. And I call over, I then start driving him home. And then that is when I start driving him home. Then Mitch starts putting his hands on me saying, pull over, I'm gonna f*** you up. And I'm like, Mitch, I will kick your ass. I don't think you understand. I will beat the shit out of you. Do not touch me while I'm driving. He continues to, he says, pull over. Starts touching me more while I'm driving. I pull over, I punched him in the face, he went down. That is exactly what happened. Then hours later goes by and Mitch Jones comes back to my house to talk it out. I'm like, let's just talk it out. You know, we can deal with this. Let's talk it out. Mitch comes to my house, Wake is there, and I'm like, all right, Wake, let's just settle this. Mitch walks down my street, drunk as comes down, starts screaming at me and Wake, telling us that we're fake pieces of and then Wake literally tries to stop him from doing it, and then he pushes Wake, tells him to off or he's gonna kill him, and then he runs away. That is literally the last time we saw Mitch.
Earlier in the year, Twitch streamer Mitch Jones publicly accused fellow streamer Mizkif of physically assaulting him during an altercation that happened back in September 2023. Jones released a detailed video and statements on social media alleging that what began as a verbal argument escalated into a violent confrontation while he was getting a ride home from Mizkif. According to Jones, during that incident Mizkif punched him, choked him, and caused significant injuries, including bruising, swelling, a concussion and a broken tooth. So serious, he claimed doctors were even concerned about possible surgery on one of his arteries because of the impact. In his explanation, Jones said he waited to go public because he had initially kept the matter private, even covering up some of the injuries. When he eventually did speak out, he detailed the extent of his injuries, showed parts of the altercation through security camera footage, and insisted he did not start the physical fight. He maintained that Mizkif was the aggressor, saying the escalation was unjustified and left him with lasting physical and emotional issues. Once the allegations spread online, the response from the wider streaming community was mixed. Many fans and commentators expressed skepticism because Jones only released edited footage rather than the full encounter, and some felt that the cuts made it impossible to clearly determine who instigated the fight. Critics pointed out that some parts of his own video and posts could be interpreted as contradicting his claim that he hadn't pulled Mizkif or otherwise engaged in aggressive contact first. Because of the absence of complete video evidence and the complexity of the claims, community reactions ranged from sympathizing with Jones to outright doubting his account and suspecting he had played a role in starting the altercation. So that's why you attacked him after he got out of the car. Honestly, it's probably for the better that you guys are in different spaces now. Mitch is thriving while you're dying and just chatting. Keep burning bridges, my dude. It is a pleasure to watch. A lot or Rat Jones fans here. When this hit LSF originally, everyone was on Miz's side. Everyone knows Rat Jones is a piece of shit. His own video made him seem like the instigator, cutting out the middle to make him seem less bad, still failing miserably. This is the downside of streamers putting their personal lives online for the world to see. This kind of shit happens all the time between friends and in friend groups. Anybody shocked by this needs to touch grass.